I have two cameras, the Insta360 1x2 and the GoPro Hero 10 Black. I prefer this one. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Bye. You're still here. Pleased about that actually, because I've changed my mind again. I now prefer this one, the GoPro Hero 10 Black. But this is the issue, this is the problem, this is why I want to address this. Because I can't decide, every time I go out I have the same issue, which camera am I going to shoot this on? Now my problems lie here. Everybody knows I'm as frustrated as hell with the GoPro Hero 10 Black. Because it doesn't work. It keeps crashing out of record. The 9 was even worse because when that crashed, you'd lose everything on the card. At least with the 10, what's been happening so far. Now, I own two of these, so it's not just the one camera. And please don't tell me below in the comments, format your card, because that's all GoPro ever tell you. That's the only time you ever hear anything back from them. Their customer service is atrocious. It's shocking. Stick with the cards that we recommend. What was the other one? Oh yeah, don't buy a third-party battery. Use only GoPro batteries. I've done all those three things. I've owned every single GoPro camera that has been made. And the only time I've ever had issues is with the 9 and the 10. When the Hero 10 does freeze, it's not just a case of holding in the power button in the hope that you can strike it up again, because that doesn't work. Because of the built-in lugs at the bottom, you have to take, first of all, you have to stop the motorbike, take your gloves off, and then undo the camera from the mounting bracket, take out the entire camera from the media mod, and then slide out the battery. Like so. Meanwhile, it's probably pissing rain or something. And then put the battery back in, start all over again, reverse that procedure, and then try and fire your camera up. Yeah, it works again. Brilliant. I've solved... Oh, I thought that was a warning there. That just got very dangerous. It's just telling me the max lens mod is enabled. You can tell I'm very anxious about this camera. I'm doing everything right. I'm formatting the cards properly the long way around on the computer, as well as then doing them within the camera. Oh, I'm just frustrated. So let's start. Now, I have two helmets. It was a birth defect, but I'm doing fine. Okay, these are my standard two helmets. We'll start with this one, since most of you on the channel know, who've been following me, this is the one I've used for the last year and a half. So first of all, inside here I have a Tram TR50 microphone. That's the end of it. It sits in behind the actual straps for the camera mount, which I've just bought off eBay, quite cheap. And so the Tram TR50 microphone is, in my opinion, one of the best mics out there for this sort of stuff. I've also said on various posts, don't underestimate the amount of work that little lavalier microphone has to do in terms of getting rid of all sorts of different frequencies within inside a motorcycle helmet, especially when you're on the road. You've got the wind, you've got the engine roar, you've got yourself talking, and whatever else is going on around you. There's vibrations going up in there as well. So that little microphone has to do a lot of work. So, in fact, take a little look at one of my clips here, and I think the quality of this microphone is incredible.
Okay, welcome on board. I have no idea where we're going, but it's a stunning day, and it's just amazing to be out on two wheels, let alone on this beautiful looking machine.
I really think it's superb, the quality of that sound. I'm delighted with it. Now, it's an expensive microphone, but I use them for work, which is why I can justify putting one of them in my motorcycle helmet. So, we have the sound sorted. So, the traditional motor vlogging setup, as we've all done, is to put the GoPro on there like that. Now, with the 10, obviously, the two little flip-out lugs are underneath. So, on the front of the helmet like that, and plugged, because I'm using the media mod on the GoPro, that plugs into the back here. It's very difficult to do one-handed. Don't know how those presenters on QVC manage. So the microphone plugs into the little socket at the bottom there. So all good to go. And that would be, as we've all done for years and years, the perfect solution to motovlogging. And then use the Insta360 1X2 as your beautiful effects shot. Okay, so this is starting to become a little bit clearer for me. After all my gripes and frustrations with GoPro, I think I've just discovered plan B. So why don't I just forget about GoPro and switch to using the Insta360 1X2? After all, it's got a sound input on the side of it. I've got the little accessory which goes in there. You can feed the Rode Wireless Go microphone into the side of this, and why don't I just mount it on the handlebar and pick my shots afterwards. Look, one shot looking up to me and one shot looking forwards, which you can do in the software. However, it perhaps works too well, because one thing I love about the GoPro in that traditional chin mount is that you get the feeling as a viewer that you're on the motorbike and that it's you riding it. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to our videos. So with the Insta360 1X2, I just feel as though it's a little bit too clinical. It's a little bit too smooth. So Insta, you've outdone yourselves yet again with your cameras, but yeah, it's just a little bit too smooth. I don't get the feeling as though you're on the bike when I'm watching stuff just done on the Insta360 1X2. So what I'd love to do in an ideal world is GoPro on the chin and just use the Insta for the effects shots, like sticking out the side, sticking up above. Even the shot looking back at me is brilliant from the handlebar. And of course, when you're using the selfie stick and it's out the front, then jobs are good, and you know, and you can break up the footage, which makes much more of an interesting vlog for the viewer. Now my other helmet, love this helmet, by the way. I did a review of this fairly recently. If you want to check it out, it's an amazing helmet. You can see here, maybe you can't, can you? Oh yes, you can. I have glued, sacrilege, a little cold shoe mount, small rig cold shoe mount, which I bought on Amazon for £5, onto the side of the helmet. Now this is a modular helmet, so I didn't want to start putting a camera strap on the front here, because it will cause all sorts of problems. So I decided with this helmet, mainly when I ride the R1200, the BMW, what I would do here is I should have it with me. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so what I thought I'd do here is to clip the Rode Wireless Go into there. It sits solid, absolutely brilliant. And then have the microphone, again, similar affair, mounted inside here. And I just stick it in with double-sided tape, and it's solid enough. In fact, you can also pin it onto that little bit of fabric there. Most helmets have that to stop the wind going up. So I've also done that as well. Works either way. And then plug the microphone into the Rode Wireless Go here. And then obviously that feeds into the receiver, which sits at the side of the 1X2. I've just put the lens cap back on because I don't like leaving it down on the desk here, because when you scratch the lenses, they're about €200 to repair, so always look after them. But yeah, so the receiver sits into the side like that, mounted on the handlebars, as you can see here. But it's still not as good as the GoPro when it works. A couple of reasons for that is the GoPro Hero 10's natural color profile is just stunning. It's fabulous. You need to do nothing with it. Straight out of the camera, you can be editing it. And one thing I always look for is ease of workflow as well as ease of use when I'm out on the bikes. I'd love if I could just have the one camera, because many times I go out and do a trip or a spin away for the day. I've got the drone with me. I've got 2 GoPro Hero 10s with me, one to do me pieces to camera and one on the chin, just so I don't have to keep taking them on and off. And then I've got the Insta360 for the effects shots. There's a lot to think about when I'm also trying to think about what I'm going to be saying, and obviously what I'm taking in when I'm riding a bike, not to mention the safety things, of course, as well. So in the words of U2, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I would love to streamline everything down to ideally one camera. Or the other thing I use as well actually is my phone. The new iPhone 13 Pro Max is incredible, so I've been using that recently to do the walkarounds of the bikes. So that's 5 cameras in total now I'm up to on a day out on the motorbike. It's ridiculous. So what I'd love to do, ideally, is to have this standard chin mount, as we have all become accustomed to over the years, have the 360-1x2 as the effects shots around the bike, and then do the walk around, the traditional walk around, and my pieces to camera on the phone. Now, the audio lets the phone side of things down, but that's about to be fixed because DJI have brought out a radio mic system which you can plug the receiver directly into your phone in one of those lightning port things. And you can feed radio mic quality like what you're hearing now on this video. You can have that going straight into your phone, which will be brilliant for when you're doing those walkarounds. So I know DJI have sent that unit out to a few motor vloggers that haven't sent me one, but I won't hold that against them. I shall be buying one anyway. So that's due out imminently. My small gripe with this as well is when you're in the software and it says you can export it, maximum export setting I think is something like 200 megabits per second. That's huge. Like in the broadcast TV world, I'm still only using 50 megabytes per second on cameras which cost 25 grand. So I'm not entirely convinced this is really 200 true megabits per second. But so when you do start zooming in, especially when you want to get a face shot of yourself from the sort of handlebar mount position with the camera, when you start zooming in, the picture just falls apart, it breaks up. And there's little things like that, you know, which is why it's not the most ideal vlogging camera, but it's the best camera in the world at the moment for these effect shots. So, that said, we'll put that aside and just keep it as the effects camera, which is brilliant. I'd be well happy with that. And we'll use this on the chin mount. But we won't, because I'm back to square one. I'm back to the beginning of the video. Why can't this just all work? Why doesn't GoPro step up their game? Why doesn't another company come out and invent an amazing action camera which you can feed sound into, which doesn't crash, which doesn't overheat? I know everybody's talking about the overheating issue. That's not a problem on a motorbike, so I won't even go there. GoPro have enough going on with problems without me starting to address the overheating thing. And the fact that we can now, you know, record sound wirelessly into either your Insta 360 on the handlebar or straight in via a jack plug onto the back of the GoPro, it's brilliant. We are spoiled for choice. I sound like a spoiled kid in a sweet shop. But am I? I'm not. I just want things to work. It's not too much to ask for, is it? No, I don't think so. Please let me know your frustrations as well. I just really want things to work. I hope you enjoyed that therapy session. I got a lot off my chest. Thank you very much. I shall see you next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Over and out.